Oh, that sucks.
Okay, we're on.
Man, what is ETH doing? What are you doing? It is concerning that the ETH Bitcoin chart broke down like this.
Recording is
Yeah, it's been a
on.
rough couple
Pretty
days.
concerning.
Yeah.
All right, Julian, you ready? You got the recorder going?
Everything is ready. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? What the fuck?
I don't know if silence is consent or what.
Hello? Hey? The fuck?
Interested to see what Serene does with ETH dumping like this. Looks okay.
Yeah, that's survived a lot so far. Okay, so we're recording, so we'll get started here.
Awesome.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're excited to have this opportunity to talk to the Surveyor DAO team. I'm Jay Ryan, together with Dejanic and Julian, and we represent DeFi Raiders. Welcome everyone to the show. We'll start with some introductions. You want to tell us about your role in the DAO, how you got started, and then talk about the team a little bit since they're not here. There's a ton of talent on your DAO with some impressive backgrounds. We'd love to hear about the skills and experiences that you guys bring to the space so that everybody knows the quality of the team that we're partnering with here.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. So as of right now, I am the founder of the DAO. That will change later as government takes over. I hope, someone and some team's going to be trading the treasury. I would hope that would be me and my team. But, we're looking to build a real DAO with democratic governance. And so that's not a guarantee. And you guys will know more of that once I release these tokenomics this afternoon. So other people on the project, Funeral from the cult, he did all the artwork and will continue to. Sorry, went down the peg. Then we have Buns. She's from SoulSwap. She was the co-founder there. And she'll be helping with all of the smart contract stuff for the DAO, for the treasury management, and wherever that goes. And then we have Amber and a few other people that are in there for, mods. And she's for networking and partner acquisition. She's really deep in the AVAX and Fantom communities. So she's been, kind of working behind the scenes to try to set up events and things like that. So then we also have Mace Papa from Byte Masons, who did the smart contract for all the NFTs for the Fantom contract so far, and then we're going to do AVAX next month, and then the final one, November, most likely.
All right, yeah, it's a great team to have behind you. I mean, the name recognition you bring just for having, someone from Byte Masons. Everybody knows who they are, so it's a stacked team you're building.
It's humbling to have those people alongside me. It's humbling.
Yeah, it shows a lot about what you've done in the space so far and your reputation, which we look forward to talking a little bit about here further, which is why one of the key reasons we're so excited to partner with you. So, All right. So one of the questions that Jenick had on here, and tell us about the genesis of your name. Him and I know about the surveyor part, but the people in the audience, whoever listens to this later, might not. So how did you get into surveying for shitcoins?
So I am a licensed land surveyor where I live. My dad's a licensed land surveyor, so I've been doing land surveying and construction surveying for 15 years. No, so I started in middle school helping them out in the field. So yeah, 20 years. So I love it. I love parts of it. It's not, it's a great profession. At this point in my life, I'm starting to, rotate away from it and looking to, move more self-employed with it, but still keep my license. Now, the shitcoin part of it is just born out of 2018 and the pain of the last bear market and the real turning point in my trading and DeFi plays was, once I started thinking about everything as a shitcoin, but also nothing as a shitcoin. So there's just shitcoin's always used to like put other projects down and shit like that, and that's not how I'm using it. I'm really just, using it to describe any crypto. The fact that we have this much value, this much money being moved on the internet the way that we do, it just kind of amazes me. And I think it's funnier if you call them shitcoins, and realize that in the long run we're still in an experimental phase of this development, and everything that you see in the market right now, 99.9% of that shit is going to zero if you give it a long enough time. So that's kind of my little tongue-in-cheek, poke at that, don't get too tied to any project. Try and stay in this space. It's important as a trader and a farmer to stay, able to maneuver around, evolve to the next thing. Because if you're still trading on Bittrex right now, man, you're getting smoked. You are not making money. So, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. I think it's clever, especially once I found out that you had done some surveying. I did some surveying for a couple summers with a family friend who owned their business. And so once I found that out, I thought it was pretty clever. All right. So moving forward, before we start talking about the future plans or whatever, one thing that we really like about what you do is what you do for your trades. So it's pretty unique what you do. You post your planned trades and you let your community front run them. So what brought you to this approach, and how's it been working for you?
So it works to varying degrees depending on the play and where the market is right now. I post those plays mostly because I like people to make money with me. And or off of a call, even if I'm not in it. I'm looking to build a community of people that can recognize a winner or recognize a play that should be good, or recognize stuff that's terrible. So I've tried to work on it more from an educational standpoint to like show my reasoning behind it. And still, I mean, I have losses. I have ones that don't go well. I've had a few rugs in the last couple months, not as many as during the bull run, but I make mistakes, and not everything I play is obviously profitable. I've always been profitable over, multiple months, years. But yeah, I sometimes it doesn't work out super great to post my plays before. Obviously, it can be not good for me. But I try to balance that with, the overall community. And I think it's important for people in crypto to find themselves like a group, a tribe that they can run ideas through. Because if I see responses to my plays, they're like, that does not make sense, or, I don't think that's a safe play. I like to, workshop that, talk about it, game it out with that person or anybody that wants to, and see where we're at on it. I don't like, I'm not the kind of guy that will shout down or, just ignore people's legitimate concerns about a play that I'm in. If there's no factual basis for it, a few times, anybody just coming in and just saying rumors, that is always shut down in my Discord. But anybody talking in a factual manner, you got Fantom scan data, you got this, you got that, you got, any kind of factual and evidence-based argument, I'll entertain. And if I don't agree, I'll try to counter it with whatever I can, and we'll go from there. So I think that's the way that good positions get made, and good teams work together, or groups of people work together, to make money instead of dumping on each other all the time. So.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that brings a lot of trust there with people who know that they can look at your calls with honesty, and know that, hey, you're not saying that, hey, follow me, I'm going to make you $1 million, but what I'm not going to do is let you buy into something that I hype and then dump on you for my own personal benefit. And you have a track record there that you built, and I think that's pretty great. All right, thanks for that. So let's talk some of the things about what you're doing. I know your tokenomics are going to be released later today. We're looking forward to seeing those, and then we talked about prior to your AVAX launch doing a deep dive there. So we won't dig too much into those since we don't know unless you want to provide a little alpha there. But what I want to know is why a token? What are the plans for the token utility and value creation? And yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so I think the token is the best way to do governance, is why I went with a token. As long as you do some kind of fair distribution or, somewhat level playing field distribution of those tokens. So we went that direction. We want to use the SURV token as our governance. One token, and it's one token, proportionally two token holds. So if someone has, 1%, they get 1% count towards the vote. We've tried to make it so there's not a lot of wells going on. Of course, if someone wants to make 16 wallets and buy them all, we're not going to be able to stop that. I don't think there's really any way to do that. I don't think the way we price these that's something that's particularly going to happen. We wanted the NFT mints to go slowly and just kind of build over time, which is what we're seeing, 2, 3 a week. And I look at those numbers as the people that want to be a part of the DAO and are putting, investing into that NFT in order to signify that they are a early Surveyor DAO supporter. Now the token, which, like you said, the tokenomics are all going to be released after this, probably 2-3 hours from now. The token. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Give me a second. Could you tell me the question again? I think I got off on the wrong direction there.
Oh yeah, we said what were the plans for the token utility, value creation, and why the token system, which you covered the governance part already, but
yes, yeah, sorry. So governance, and then also there will be, and we're looking at how we're going to set this up legally in order to make sure the team and then all members involved are not in any kind of legal jeopardy. So I actually am meeting with lawyers this next week, 2 different firms, and we'll decide from there. But we are figuring out how the treasury management and the treasury profits can be redistributed directly to the token holders, proportional to how many tokens they have in their wallet. So we're looking at those legal issues to see exactly how we can do that. I think we found one route in Colorado, which is the Uniform Limited Cooperative Association Act, which if you never heard about a DAO before, it sounds like a DAO. So that's specific to the state I live in, Colorado. But our goal is in order to be able to actually do what we want, which is to pay, earnings off of the treasury out either quarterly or yearly to our token holders. We got to make sure that has no legal problems. I don't think it will at the level that we're going to be at, because the limitation for this type of organization, which is basically a co-op, is 10 million. So as long as it's under 10 million, investors and directors and people that are running the DAO, that we can do systems like that. They have specific rules. We'd have to write a set of bylaws and then petition to the Secretary of State in Colorado to get that licensing set up. It doesn't look like that hard of an upside battle, but I'll know next week. So basically, yeah, I want whoever's trading the treasury at the end of the year, the smart contract calculates profit and then distributes those to, or none if we lose, because could happen. The treasury could go down. There could be no profits. At the end of the year, we want to see that, reconciled in an accounting fashion that is transparent, and then everybody that, put in the pool will get out what's coming to them. So.
Okay, awesome. And I've got one quick question. I'm going to turn it over to Jenik. He's got a couple. What's the reasoning behind going multi-chain with the NFT so quickly? Is it the same concept? You just want to build slow growth across multiple chains, or after you had decided to launch on Fantom, did it come to you, or was that always the plan?
It was always the plan. Yeah, totally. Um, my home chain, as most of you know, is Phantom. When I buy them, I'm going to buy some of the NFTs. We didn't pre-mint any NFTs except for the one of ones, which I don't count those. So we wanted to go to AVAX next, just because I thought it was a logical direction. I think the NFT scene over there's just really starting to pick up pace. I mean, we're pretty far off from a bull market, so I think it'll just be slow and steady growth over there. And I also, if I'm being completely honest, have been a little disturbed by some of the attitudes, behaviors, and actions of people on Phantom. And I don't want to go into details on that, but just the general vibe on Phantom has concerned me lately, and it made us want to open it up. You know, that was kind of before we even started the Phantom Mint. We knew that. Obviously, NFT volume on Phantom is abysmally low, but yeah, I still want to bring that to that Phantom community and open it up. I'll always love Phantom. I just hope that, you know, some of the parts of it start going in a better direction over the coming months for the next bull run, especially.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think anyone who's really paying attention wouldn't either. You know, Phantom has its own perceptions attached to it. And so I think that I think I'm seeing some things in the background from some of the people I've talked to about some of the ways that they're trying to steer the direction. And I think the right people are starting to get into the right places to help that, but it's definitely going to take some time, especially to get rid of that stigma associated with it. So I think that's a good reasoning for why you're going cross chain. Yeah. I think that's good for the DAO long term, especially. So,
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, and we like to be included. You know, I want to see, so when we're done minting, and let's say they don't all mint, whichever chain is minted the most, you know, will have more governance power than the other chains. So it's really, I mean, which community wants to, you know, bet big on the Surveyor DAO will effectively control the direction that it goes on, which would most likely mean more positions in that specific chain, and a lot of other things that go with that.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dejenic, you want to take it away for some of your questions?
Yeah, thanks. So let's talk a little more about DAO and governance. It sounds like this is you're approaching this with the intention of decentralizing a lot of it, but there still has to be a line. So I'd love to just have you talk a little more about how you see that developing.
Yeah, I mean, so initially we'll have the NFT. So if something really important comes up, you know, before launch, we'll do a snapshot and votes with the NFTs. Once the tokens are launched, you know, we're going to set up a voting system. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways, but you know, it'll be based on a snapshot, and then your voting power will be based on obviously how many SURV are in your wallet at that time.
Right, and so for instance, you'll vote to for which group is in charge of the treasury. Is the intention then to have them propose investments that are and vote on those?
So I mean, I think we're still working on exactly how that's going to go. My initial thought was that it would be a team-based and time period. So if you say, let's say Shitcoin Surveyor's team, and he has these 3 people on the team, and then if I did it, I'd most likely we'd separate it into different types of trading. Like I'm usually on high APR stuff, and we distribute different pools and kind of wallets that are working on a specific type of strategy. But But yeah, we're still working on exactly how all that is. Definitely before the Treasury starts getting actively traded, there will be a vote to answer those kind of questions, and we'll be able to resolve those with the community. Getting closer into court towards the end of the year. I mean, we'll really start pounding on how exactly people want to, how much the people want to vote on. So if it's like every single position, I mean, I'm open to that. It isn't only my gig as it goes on. This should become a community thing. The Surveyor DAO is not just me and my team. If they want to go another direction, they have all the power to do that. I do know that, but we'll have to just be really upfront and talk to the community about whether or not, or how deep and how often they want to do governance votes. And whatever they say, we will respect.
Cool. I look forward to seeing it develop. I think it's very interesting how differently, right, governance structures develop in different communities.
Totally.
So let's see. I think other than that, what would you tell people who are new to Fantom, new to crypto? Why should they come? A, hang out in your Discord, but B, buy an NFT and join Surveyor DAO.
Yeah, totally. So I wish I had a place like the Surveyor DAO when I first got into crypto. When I got into crypto for the first, so like 2017 into 2018, I don't think I ever talked to any other person in crypto, like over the internet, through chat, anything. It was just me on the internet, on Twitter, looking for stuff and then trading it. Well, if you've ever done it like that, it doesn't work very well. Crypto is all about being, in the know, staying ahead of where the trends are going. And the only way you can effectively do that as an individual is to work with a group and to, have good networks and contacts inside of whatever chains you want to trade at this point. Back then it wasn't on chain. But yeah, you really got to just have a community to work together and vet your ideas, especially if you're new. If you post some kind of play that everybody else has already got nuked by, they're going to say that to you in the Surveyor DAO. When people post something that they are defending as a play, I expect people to, defend why they are doing that. And if asked questions, say, I'm doing that because of this. This is my idea. This is my thesis on it. This is what I'm looking at. They don't have to be right. Nobody's right all the time. But yeah, it's going to be a Discord for both NFT holders and non. The NFT holders will have access to a separate, more one-on-one, more, basically more focus from me if people want to do like portfolio review, all those kind of things, hop on voice chats. But even in the regular, DAO general chat, there's all kinds of alpha dropping all the time and in our announcements. So yeah. Come and learn. We're also working on an educational section that'll have, some walkthroughs for things like how do you mint an NFT? How do you do this? How do you set up a Rabby wallet, a MetaMask wallet? So there's going to be a lot in there.
I think that's pretty cool. The portfolio review. So is that just kind of reviewing what people have done and providing feedback, or how do you view that?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them. If they want to send me their wallet and I pop it into DBank and look at it, and we can talk through whether or not I think it's a good long-term play or not. I mean, of course, I'm not right all the time. People get, play the opposite side to stuff and make a lot of money sometimes. But if people want my opinion on it, I'd be happy to, especially for the NFT holders, do that for them. Take that time. It's hard sometimes to look at your own portfolio in an objective manner.
Oh yeah, definitely agree. I mean, there's always a sense of emotional connection to your own investments, but I think it's easier. Dejanic and I have talked about that before. We're better with other people's decisions than our own. So I agree with that there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What else? You got anything else right now, Dejanic?
I want to ask an off-topic question. What do you know? How do you feel about the macro market situation, and and how tied crypto is to risk on tech stocks? Say,
Sure. I mean, if there ever was a time for a depeg from risk on stocks, I think this is it. I don't think it's happening. Um, it the ETH run until today looked like there was some hope for some kind of decorrelation between those risk on assets and at least ETH and its ecosystem. But I mean, we're really seeing the tail end of that now. We're seeing it get, basically nuked. Still not that bad though. I'm looking at the chart right now. But yeah, it's definitely in a downtrend again. I hope that someday we decorrelate. I'm tired of being, considered such a risk on asset. Some of these things, stablecoin farming, stuff like that. I mean, go look at some S&P charts right now or some Nasdaq charts and tell me, that crypto is the only highly volatile. It's just not true. They just don't get dumped as often, and the economic forces that cause bear markets and recessions when it comes to traditional equities happen less and way more less often because they can print money to keep it propped up, which becomes kind of a cycle because that's the reason, that's undermining the overall legitimacy of the country, the liquidity and lending and all that kind of stuff. So I wish it would, but it appears we are not decorrelated with risk on assets, especially the S&P.
What should happen, in your opinion, so we do uncorrelate? Is this all talk with legislation for crypto a good thing or a bad thing?
So I would generally say some regulation is a good thing, and I think most people would agree with that. I'm concerned by the people in power right now, and it's not necessarily political party, but when I look at like the people at the SEC and other people that are being vocal on crypto, it's concerning to me. I don't think they would ever be able to understand, let alone put together a rational bill that would create a healthy, environment for development and research, and moving stuff forward. With that being said, I think that the biggest objective of the state is always to, just get their part. So as long as the big players, which they waited way too long if they were going to shut down crypto, you should have done it 5 fucking years ago. Now all these Bitcoiners have really high dollar lawyers, and you're not going to get rid of them. So their goal will most likely on these crypto bills is just going to shift to compliance, but mostly making sure that money's going to the IRS and the federal government in the United States. If you pay, if you want to operate, you got to pay taxes, and that's what they're more concerned about, I think, than your average investor. There's not a single real person at the top of the SEC that gives a flying shit about average small investors. They do not. They don't give a fuck. It's a lie. It's a lie they've told us for 100 years.
Totally on point. I totally agree with everything you said.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's, I think most people in crypto got here because of that. I really do. I really think that's like banks are awful. Why is this so difficult? Couldn't someone just privately develop a better system? Because this is stupid.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for. Guilty.
Yeah. No, it's why, despite people in crypto having varying political views, etc., I still have commonality with them because we understand that the monetary system being used in the Western world right now doesn't work, and that it's basically just band-aiding over and over again and just building bigger and bigger bubbles that will continue. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Growth through debt is not very a good philosophy.
No, I still play the market regardless of whether I like it or not, based on those facts, though. I mean, if you try to like look at markets as fair or, it's just not a good lens to look through. I think you just got to accept the insanity of it and then try to, manage your risk as best as possible.
Right.
Yeah, and circling back to what you were talking about with the laws and everything that's happened with the SEC, it's interesting with what's going on with Ripple. I think they have an opportunity to define how the security laws overlap with crypto assets. I mean, that could be something that's only applicable to them, or this could be something that kind of creates a certain safe harbor for everyone. I'm not sure if you guys are following the Ripple lawsuit or not, but that could be beneficial for the DeFi space.
Yeah, it could. I think that Ripple, in my mind, isn't really even a cryptocurrency, though. It's not really decentralized in any meaning of the word. But I get what you're saying, though, that, those type of digital assets or digital tokens, some of the stuff they make on that will affect and decisions on that for Ripple. But yeah, I haven't really watched it for a while, but I remember I made a ton of money on Ripple in 2017. It's great. But, I didn't hold it at all. So.
Yeah, I think they're just really creating kind of like the initial platform for everyone to be able to fight for the future of DeFi and crypto assets in regards to the SEC. So I think that's going to be, I'm interested to see the finality of that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it from the perspective as if Ripple isn't a security, then nothing in crypto will be a security, because Ripple was clear fucking security in my mind. The Howey test is very simple to deduce on that one. So they can get out of this, set a legal precedent that Ripple XRP, that token issuance was not a security. Fuck, there's no securities then, nothing. Unless you specifically say you're guaranteed to make money if you buy this thing, then I guess that's a security.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anything that looks more like a security than Ripple. Or, it's a company. It's not a network, it's a company. So.
But there's interesting protection potentially available down the co-op path, because if you can find a viable structure, existing business structure that you can actually mimic in DeFi,
totally.
Right?
That
solves for all of it.
Do we have a chat in here? Let's see. I always forget.
Yeah, there's AMA questions just above the AMA.
Okay, there it is. So I'm on post in there. So this is the state of Colorado, and it has links to the statutory. This article is. Yeah. So if you read some of it, you'll see how it fits.
Cool. Thanks. Because we know the unions have been coming back, right? And there's been a lot of union organization lately, but it would be very interesting to see some innovation on that front as well, in terms of co-ops and other worker-owned organizational structures.
Yeah, totally. When I read this, I was like, when was this made? It sounds like it's for a DAO, but it's not, because it's 2012. Permission for an LCA to have investor members and the structure for LCA patron and investor members, and creates their interests as personal property interests consisting of governance rights, financial rights, and for patron members, the possible right or obligation to do business with the LCA. Two-tiered voting structure, authorization of marketing contracts, directors of the Limited Cooperation Association, their qualifications and authorities and powers. All this stuff has to be in a set of, bylaws, which we will be doing. So yeah, like I said, I'm meeting with 2 different firms, hopefully this week, if not in the next couple of weeks, to really make sure that this is a direction we can go, and what we need to do in terms of language and approach in order to, do this in a proper manner that's not going to be challenged legally down the road, if it does very well. There is a financial limit to the size of these, and it's 10 million. So for us, that's not something we're particularly worried about anytime in the near future. But if we did get down the road and it grew to that, then we would want it still to be. We would have to go a different direction.
Oh, interesting. And is there? I wonder if there's a way around the 10 million. Like, can you have sub entities or assets?
Oh, I'm sure there is. if our DAO goes to being worth more than 10 million, I will push for, and then it'll be voted for, to get a really good set of attorneys to help us make sure that it goes past then. You know what I mean? The DAO would have funding to do it at that point. I don't have personal funding to, go hire a team of lawyers for 6 months, but who knows where it goes. But I want to at least, I always, and with like crypto taxes and stuff, my CPA, other attorneys I've talked to, act in good faith, and you're not going to get screwed. If you're trying to follow the law and you're trying to, and you're not, defrauding people, and you're trying to build a legit co-op type DAO, and acting, properly, have real governance, and real decentralization, they're going to have a hard time making that argument in court that it's a problem. When you don't have any, when people sign up for this, they will, and when they, buy in, or, these things will be known. And once we start participating in governance votes, that understanding of what you're involved in needs to be there, so that we're sharing all the liability as a group. That's what a co-op's all about. We're sharing all the risk, cumulatively. So, yeah. No, I can't wait to. I've already talked to he wasn't the guy to use. He represented Tezos. So my wife is a, executive recruiter, and she worked in the legal field for a long time, finding like law partners and stuff like that. And I talked to this guy. He represented Tezos on something here, and they won. And he said the DAO and securities can be sticky, but it really comes down to fundamentally is the decentralization of it and the democratization of the actual DAO. So it's just a DAO by name only, that you're much more likely to be a security, is what he was telling me. That if you got people voting on these things, you have bylaws, you have all the things that are, required by similar type of legal constructs, then you should be fine. There's risk always. Who knows? But yeah. Initial discussions have been positive about the route we're on.
Yeah, just a great area to innovate in, where I think there hasn't been enough innovation.
Totally, I agree.
All right, so I got a couple quick questions, then we'll let you get out of here. I know you got some things to do, some tokenomics to release today. For what you're doing in the Discord in your server, any plans for what you're trying to expand to? For example, trading. Are you planning on including educational stuff for traders who want to learn, so that they understand how to play the trades that you're doing? Or
Sure.
What other things are you planning on expanding just within the server?
So yeah, I think over time we'll just naturally kind of evolve in that way. If you're in my server and you go to what is it on? The Alpha General Community. So Community Alpha DeFi, and then in the Holders General for NFT holders, you do have to verify and have the NFT. I hope that they are educational, that it's not just someone looking at it to like copy trade me, that I give at least an actionable move to make, and give, a good basis for why I'm doing that. Not just, hey, buy this, it's going to go up. And I think that's right now the best way to do it. We have some walkthroughs that a friend, good in real life friend of mine, is putting together. We'll have that. But yeah, anything else that people want, they want like descriptions on how exactly I'm playing it. I'm happy to, run that through with people. As you know, in crypto though, sometimes it's a real knee-jerk reaction. It's really you need to make your mind up right now. You need to, so I try my best to update those positions, and, obviously let smaller guys exit and, not get wrecked. But sometimes some news comes and you just know it's going to nuke and everybody just pulls out. Those kind of situations suck. So, yeah, I will continue to do my best to try and vet projects and that, but there will always be losers and disappointers. but at least I'll be upfront about why I was in there in the first place, and then, you know, my strategy going forward. And part of that is always the strategy to take profit or exit if the reason you're in it stops being true. And people forget that. If I say something like, if it loses this level, I would exit. For me, that's what I'm telling you I'm going to do, you know, and if anybody else wants to do what they want, that's fine. But I try to give parameters, or at least, like, you know, it's not financial advice, but it's how I'm playing it. There's always an exit point for me. Always. There's an exit target and there's an exit point if it goes the other direction on me. Always. On every trade. On every play.
Yeah, that provides transparency. I think that's just a big thing that a lot of people are looking for. I don't think anyone is, I mean, if they are, it's a false expectation, but I don't think anyone is actually expecting to follow someone and every single thing that they do makes a lot of money. But if they can follow you and understand that you're going to, you know, give a bottom line and be transparent, then, you know, that's really all we can ask for, especially in a bear market when there's not 2,000, you know, moonshot opportunities every single day. So,
right, for sure, totally.
So bounce or no bounce on Ethereum?
Say that again.
Bounce or no bounce on Ethereum?
I mean, if it's gonna bounce, it's gonna be right here, right where we're at.
Yeah, I'm looking
Here,
at
I'll
it.
post. Let me post this in the chat. These are the levels I'm looking at. I think we're gonna bounce right here.
Oh, we have a question in
So
the
when
chat.
I posted this trend line that I thought would be important here. If we lost, it would suck, but it doesn't mean, you know, continued bearish price action forever. I still don't think we'll see new lows. I think the lows are in. I think on Bitcoin, there's still a chance that we go lower than we are now, but I don't think we break that floor this year even. But I've been wrong. Let me post this chart. So I'm a pretty simple trader. I just look for volume nodes on you know, on trends, and then pick out those support resistances on the time frame that I like, which for most swing and farming plays I use 4 hour. So if we don't bounce here, I mean, I guess you could get a wick down into that 1500, but a bounce here is not great. If we don't bounce here, I mean, I think you'd be looking like maybe revisiting the 1300 area.
Yes. If we don't bounce here, go to 1300.
Which isn't the end of the world to me either. If we're going to do it, just get it over with. That's what's been a little bit different about this bear market than the other one I've been through in 2018 is this has been quick. You know, the dumps have been quick and then a slow grind up. You can lose a lot of money really fast, but at least, you know, time-wise, you're not suffering just continuously for 6 months. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think, I mean, just in a social perspective, I mean, with everything that was happening at the same time as this dump happened, with all the, you know, cost of living skyrocketing and everything happening in Ukraine and all that, like, I mean, that's just another fear factor that was driving people to exit their positions too. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a shitty environment right now for risk on assets, but I'm still having fun. I'm still grinding.
Yeah, we're still here.
And
then, oh, go ahead, Julian, and then I'll ask one more question.
We have a question in the AMA questions. Are you planning to involve influencers into the marketing?
Yes. Yeah, we will. Right now, we're working with Fantom Insider. They're actually putting together some additional infographics and a kind of a campaign, and we'll do an AMA with them. Obviously, I have some influencer friends that I've traded with and done stuff with around Fantom as well. And then right now, we're working on really diving into the AVAX community. We've been doing a lot of AMAs there, working with that Johnny from the Power Hour and a few other, you know, personalities. We're still open to different stuff to to really get the word out and tell the community what exactly we're about. So, yes, we will use, but sparingly, and ones that I trust or have had good conversations with. Not like 150,000 follower people that don't have any common mutuals. We will not be dealing with any of those people. If we don't have mutuals, I'm not paying you for anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're starting a project or you're looking at stuff like that, make sure you pay attention, because most of these people and these accounts that have huge followers that call themselves influencers are fake followers. And a proportional check of mutuals is important.
Yeah, they're just pumping their own bags for the people who haven't been here long enough to know what to look for.
Totally, for sure.
And then somebody from another group chat wanted me to ask if you are planning to submit to PaintSwap.
We have. So
okay.
Yeah, and they are with their new launch. It's taking forever. Funeral knows those guys, I think, pretty well, so I'll get with him probably next week and see if we can move that ball forward quicker.
Okay, cool.
But yes, they've been submitted, and they will eventually be there. They're on NFT Key right now. And then I heard today that OpenSea is going to launch AVAX markets coming up here.
Interesting.
So that would be another good advantage for why we would want to mint on AVAX. I actually anticipate the AVAX mint, as long as we get in front of a substantial amount of people over the next couple weeks before it, I think the AVAX mint is going to be pretty big. I think that we're going to do numbers compared to Fantom. And then Fantom, I think, will be a slow grind until, the token gets closer. It's a long deadline. Yeah. People are okay. And we're okay with that too. We're not relying on this to live. The tokenomics you'll see are not huge money grabs. It's basically enough to pay people for their work. So, yeah, this is, there will probably be, if this goes very well, of course, I hope everybody makes money, including myself. But the primary motive here is not profit for me. I make money easier trading solo or with a few other trusted people that I trust with size, but this is more I want to work and build a healthy community, especially for Fantom people, but also for all these chains. So where they can go and people tell them stuff, it's not bullshit. They know those people are vetted a project and they give a shit. And the only people that are allowed to shill or come talk about their project in the DAO, I want them to be legit. And that us and you guys did all your due diligence to make sure that they're not scammers. Some will slip through. It's inevitable. But, that's the kind of attitude I want to bring to a smaller, tied together group, almost ecosystem between you guys, us, SoulSwap, the cult, and I'm sure there will be a few other like-minded groups that we'll partner with. So I'm going to be very defensive of the DAO's reputation, and I know Funeral will be too, in who we're working with. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
We'll be doing the same. We'll be doing the same thing.
Totally.
So we're working hard on that right now. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, Dejinic, Julian, you got anything?
No, that's about it. And we still managed to do a full hour.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling great. Once you get me talking, though, I usually go the full hour. So I appreciate it. If you guys, obviously, anybody has any questions, hop in the Discord or DM me. And if I see that you're from the DeFi Raiders, I'll accept. And you can ask me whatever you want. I don't immediately get back to every single person. I have quite a few DMs, but I do my best to try and get to them within, 24 hours.
Yeah, I caught you. I started messaging you, I don't know, about 3 weeks after I got into crypto, and it was just in time before you started getting too busy. So thankfully I was able to get talking to you early.
Oh, so. Yeah. Nah, you can't, man. It wasn't that long ago you've been in crypto. You're doing pretty well for that. The fact that you're
Yeah,
not
well,
crying and in poverty on your first cycle is pretty impressive to me.
not in public at least. No, just kidding. No, I'm doing all right. Things are turning around. I had to go through the hard lessons, and that's one of the reasons we're trying to do what we're doing and take this the direction that we are, is so that people don't have to learn the hard lessons. You know, they'll have the information at hand to make the proper decisions. So, or the decisions that they think are best for them, at least with the right information.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So,
I'm jacked. So you guys have a
Yes,
good
sir.
rest of your weekend, and keep an eye out for our tokenomics to be released I will release them in our member, the NFT holders, probably an hour before. It's not like it's going to sell out because of it. There's still, 900 some NFT left, but everything that I post gets posted in my NFT verified stuff at least an hour before.
Nice.
And then it will be out in a Twitter post. It keeps getting longer, so it's going to be a thread instead of just a post.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to future work and talking to you again soon.
Sounds good. Have a good day.
You as well.
All right. Later.
All right, everyone. This has been another great AMA with an amazing team from Surveyor DAO. We look forward to introducing you to the rest of his team in the future. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks so much to the team here for helping out, and the audience for contributing with some questions and joining us. We're excited to be partnering with a well-known name in the space who brings transparency and integrity in everything he does. We'll be uploading the audio from this to YouTube if anybody wants to hear it again, as well as in our recorded AMA section. Or if you're hearing it on YouTube right now for the first time, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more coming, and we're very excited for this journey with you all. Once again, I'm Jay Ryan with Dejinic and Julian, and we represent DeFi Raiders. Check out the links, drop by the Surveyor DAO server to learn more, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming, y'all.